The clerk take the roll, please.
Mayor Brill?
Here.
District 1 Morset?
Here.
2 O'Connell?
Here.
3 Rademacher?
Here.
4 Wyland?
Here.
5 O'Malley?
Here.
6 Cook? Here.
At this point in our agenda, we take comments and suggestions from citizens present on any subject not on the agenda. Is there anyone here that would like to address the council? Here comes Mr. Rubin.
Your Honor, members of the City Council, city staff, interested parties, my name is Bill Rubin. I'm the Executive Director of the St. Croix Economic Development Corporation. I wanted to spend just a couple moments giving you two brief updates on some activities that we're working on. Last March, about 40 citizen advocates went to Madison as part of a organized Legislative Days event on behalf of the residents and businesses of Polk, St. Croix, and Pierce counties. This was the first opportunity that there was an organized event wherein 4 or 5 legislative issues were identified on behalf of the region, and we advanced those to various elected officials and cabinet secretaries in Madison. Plans are now underway for a 2007 event. We have a date for that, February 13th and 14th. It'll be an all-day on Tuesday the 13th. We'll be arriving back on Wednesday the 14th in time for Valentine's. And this evening I would like to leave maybe a folder at the corner here that we've developed a legislative worksheet. It helps boards and organizations and clubs and so on. It helps them and us identify potential issues that we would like to reduce then to writing and boil down to maybe those 4 or 5 critical issues for our trip to Madison on the 13th or 14th. It also has some fill in the blanks if you're interested in being part of that event. We would love to have you. As I said, there were about 40 advocates that went down last year. We'd like to see that event grow. The whole thing, Legislative Days, is patterned after other successful events in the state like Superior Days. That's the granddaddy of them all. They've been going at that for about 30 or 40 years, an organized event down to Madison. La Crosse has its Oktoberfest. The Chippewa Valley has its Valley Rally in very early January. They all do the same thing. They identify key issues that impact their particular region, and they try to advance a legislative series of issues to the elected officials. So with that, I'll just leave the workbook.
And anybody that would like to attend, just let Devin know. Certainly, we should have some representation for that.
And then lastly, on Tuesday, October 3rd, one of Governor Doyle's cabinet secretaries will be in Hudson. Department of Workforce Development, Roberta Gassman, will be in Hudson that morning late, maybe visiting a business, keynote speaker at lunch at the Hudson House, and she will stay a little bit longer after that event, and she views that as an open forum. If there are interested businesses and parties and so on that want to identify some workforce issues that she should be made aware of, she will stay after that before departing again.
Did you have some literature on that one?
We sent out an electronic announcement,
that,
I think,
yeah.
earlier in the day.
I'll forward that on to the council.
Very good, and we're going to try to get that announcement, obviously, in the papers as well. So those are my 2 updates this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments, Bill. Anyone else? Anyone? Let's go to the consent agenda items, and Madam Clerk will vocalize those for us.
To approve the regular meeting minutes and closed session minutes of September 5th, 2006. To approve the certified survey map for 1 commercial lot and 1 outlot south of Stage Line Road and west of Center Drive as proposed by Banterra LLC, with the condition that the city shall not execute the CSM until the development agreement has been executed. To approve claims for payment in the amount of $427,831.13. A detailed description is available in the clerk's office for inspection. To approve the issuance of regular operators licenses for the period September 19th, 2006 to June 30th, 2008 to Michael Brocktrup, Woodbury, Minnesota, Joseph Schmall, River Falls, Wisconsin, and the issuance of temporary operators licenses to be used at the Hudson Hockey Association's Pig Roast event on September 30th, 2006 to Lynette Benlick, Terry Meyer from Hudson, Wisconsin, to approve the issuance of temporary Class B retailer's license to the Hudson Hockey Association to sell beer at a pig roast event to be held September 30th, 2006 at 1820 Hanley Road, Hudson, Wisconsin. to approve the YMCA Torchlight Night Run to be held on Saturday, October 28th, 2006, at 5:30 p.m., with the event to begin at the YMCA on Vine Street and end in Lakefront Park using all safety measures as recommended, and the use of casual call patrol officers to be paid by the YMCA. To approve the designation of two 15-minute parking spaces at 307 Second Street with signage indicating 15-minute free parking from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. To place on file the quarterly report of the St. Croix EMS chief and the Public Utility Commission minutes of September 12th, 2006. That is all.
What is your pleasure on the consent?
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Morissette?
Yes.
O'Malley?
Yes.
Wyland?
Yes.
Cook? Yes.
Yes.
O'Connell?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Let's go to Finance Committee. Update on the purchase of the speed monitoring signs. I'll have Sergeant Marty give us an executive summary on that situation. He's well primed for that because he gave one
20 minutes ago.
finance.
As I told the Finance Committee earlier this evening, when I went to order the speed monitoring sign, when I was talking to the vendor, I learned that the batteries that we were going to purchase were going to be not up to specs for what we were required. It was only going to last maybe 4 to 5 hours per day, and we're not going to be very economical to recharge. He did make a recommendation that we could buy a deep cycle marine battery and use that, but then we would have to post that outside the speed monitoring device itself, and that would not have been a very economical way to go about it, because we would have definitely lost those batteries over time. So as of right now, we're on hold with that project. The mayor, when I had discussed this with him, had brought up some information that he had gotten from 3M in regards to a program called Safe Routes to School program, which would allow us to use federal grant money to purchase speed monitoring devices that we could use in these safe route corridors that children use to go to school, such as on Vine Street, Carmichael Road, maybe St. Croix Street, and so forth. A representative from 3M had come and talked to the mayor. He gave me that information. I'm going to try to set up an appointment for him to come in and talk to the public safety meeting at their next public safety agenda in October, so he can give a brief presentation in regards to that. And I believe the mayor has a little bit more information in regards to that
And
program.
I think there's about $7 million available in federal money, so quite frankly, we might be able to equip all of our routes to all of the school locations under this program if we get in fast, and he's going to bring the application to us so we can fill them out and get it going. And he'll be making a presentation to the safety committee in, when is it, first October?
It's October 4th.
4th?
Fourth, correct.
So you'll have a better understanding of what he wants to accomplish, plus he's got some other suggestions for some signage here. So the recommendation is to pursue that particular approach. Let's go on to 6, update on temporary offsite facility for the St. Croix EMS personnel. And Eric's going to give us, and the television audience, an 8.5 by 11 summary of where this is.
Yeah, we have been searching for an off-site facility to, for our crew personnel that are on duty. Previously, we've been utilizing the Hudson Hospital, but they've decided, are using that for space now. So we did find an apartment located at 412 2 Street behind the futon shop, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It's got laundry facility in that. Rent is $800 a month, and we locked in on for 1-year lease. And that's one of the nice things about it is it's right next to our station, so they can still get to the station within a matter of a month.
Recommendation from finance is to go ahead and approve that particular contract. I think you had to have one connection for phones.
Right.
And TV. I think the proximity to the ambulances is amazing. Not even a half a block, so I think it'll work out well. We do know the people that are renting it to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a 1-year contract?
1-year lease, yep.
Move for approval.
I'll second.
Okay,
Just
thank
to
you.
clarify, that includes utilities in that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Except telephone and cable.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you, Eric, for pursuing that. We have another presentation, review the bids received for the purchase of the 3,200-gallon tanker truck for fire department from finance. We said to accept that particular bid, but the chief will give us the highlights on what was involved and the particulars on this particular tanker.
We had advertised for bids for a 3,200-gallon tanker, and the city website, Star Observer, the Hudson Fire Department websites, and also posted in the Star Observer. Bids were, specifications were sent to two local fire apparatus builders, Custom Fire in Osceola, and General Safety of Wyoming. We only received one bid back from General Safety in the amount of $371,683. It would be my recommendation to accept this bid. The funding obviously will have to come from bonding.
Right. And a recommendation from finance is to accept that bid and
yes.
pursue adequate financing.
I'll renew my motion to accept.
Great. Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you, Chief. Let's go Public Works Committee. Scott, you want to take those?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In Public Works, item number 1 is a long-term contract for use of West Central Wisconsin Biosolids Facility. Is Jim Schreiber, Jim is not here with us, so I'll pick up the biosolids and run with them, I guess.
You got an okay and left.
This is simply a change to the existing contract that's been in force since 1995. 11 municipalities are the owners of this facility, and we are one of those 11. Another 9 municipalities contract for use of this facility, so all in all, it serves 20 municipalities here in western Wisconsin. What we are doing tonight is asking simply for a change from the end date of the existing contract, 2015, to 2025, simply for the reason that it's been in force for 11 years. It's been up and running. Time has come for some capital improvements, some capital repairs, and we cannot bond, or the facility cannot bond for that over the useful life of the improvements, the things to be purchased, if the entire agreement fails after 2015. Well, if you're only going to be in existence for 9 more years under the current contract, it's pretty tough to bond for 15 years. So they've asked that we simply change the end date of the current contract with no other changes to it from 2015 to 2025, and I will move that we do that.
And I believe our responsibility totally is about 17% of the total as it relates to the other interacted villages and cities.
I'd like to comment, and that's a good point, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to comment, all of the other entities, all the other municipalities involved have already signed.
Signed, right.
So we're right in the last in line, but saving the best for last.
And we've been happy with their service so far?
No problems. No problems at all.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Second is the proposed review of the intersection at 11th Street and Cooley Road. If people can visualize that intersection in their mind, they'll recall that we have fairly new left turn lanes installed on the eastbound and the westbound and the northbound lanes at that intersection. However, the street, which is fairly narrow, it's only 36 feet wide curb to curb, and is further made narrower by a walking path designation on the east side of the road. When you're going southbound, you're faced with that bottleneck, and there is no left turn lane there. So in morning drive time, or around lunchtime, or in afternoon drive time, that can get a little loaded up, and we've been talking about it now for several years. The decision from Public Works is that we're not going to move forward with a study of that intersection. We feel it's been studied enough.
Yeah.
I think we know the situation there. We don't need to spend another $4,000 on another study to tell us what we already know. In any event, a study that we were to complete now, we would not be able to take action on before the study became outdated, which is just a couple of years from now. We're going to predicate any action on this on really 2 things. The ability to acquire some more land on the west side of 11th Street. There has been indication from the private owner there, the condominium complex, that they would be willing, in order to alleviate the traffic problem right in front of their residences in the morning when it hits them all the time,
Yep.
that they would give up or sell to us at a reasonable rate some land. We would also have to move a fire hydrant so that it wouldn't wind up in the middle of the right turn lane, but that is not sitting above the main utility. That is a stem coming out. We just simply changed the piping to that one thing. And also, we're gonna predicate our action on whether or not we're successful in putting into the capital budget next year $40,000 for this project.
Yep.
So no action is needed tonight. I wanted to explain to everybody, that's where we're at. We are working on that 11th and Cooley intersection. We feel we're taking the most expeditious route that can get us what we want the fastest without spending any money up front, because we already know that what we need to do. It's really, can we get the land at the right price, and can we get the money through bonding for next year?
Who's gonna work on contacting the landowner and developing an agreement
I
with?
know the
Actually,
landowner.
Landowner already contacted us, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
So-
is an initiative from the landowners.
Right, well, I mean, it's an intersection that needs to be taken care of.
Oh, yeah.
No question, but I was,
Way overdue.
yeah, who's gonna take care of the negotiations and,
Devin and I and staff can do that, and along with Angela.
okay.
Okay?
So that's for information only tonight.
And that's good information, thank you.
Thank you. The last thing, my favorite thing, I wait all year to announce the fall leaf collection.
So you want a drum roll?
Please, sir. It begins this year, Saturday, October 21st, and goes for 3 consecutive Saturdays to November 4th. 8 hours every Saturday, from 8 o'clock in the morning to 4 p.m. in the afternoon at the West End Garage. Just simply go north on 2nd Avenue, follow the signs. If you find yourself overlooking Lake Malibu, you've gone a little too far. Turn around and go back. And on the west side of 2nd Street is the entrance to the West End Garage. There will be dumpsters there, as we do every spring and every fall. There will be somebody there to assist you, should you need some help.
And a sign on Second Street to,
Right, we have signs, I said, follow the signs directing you to the West End Garage. It's also open 3 weekdays in those intervening 2 weeks between the 3 Saturdays. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from noon to 7 p.m. Plenty of time to get rid of leaves and also grass that you've mown. And please, it's leaves and grass that you've mown. It's no trees, it's no brush, it's tires, rocks, whatever. One spring we had leftover pumpkins from the Halloween before. No, it's just those items. And a reminder that there is no burning allowed, no open burning allowed in the city of Hudson. This is the way to dispose of them. It is free during these 3 Saturdays in the intervening 2 weeks.
best part of the whole proposal.
The best part of the whole proposal is it's free, and if you cannot make those dates, you can still pick up tags at any of the stores, grocery stores, and convenience stores here in Hudson. $1 a bag, and they will pick it up at your curbside. You simply need to call, what's their new name? Veolia. Formerly Superior,
Yeah.
formerly. I guess they just want to change the name every year. Call Veolia over in Roberts, and they will come and pick it up, and those are always done on a Friday. As always, every year for those residents of the fifth district that I represent, if you are unable to get the bags of leaves or cut grass to the West End Garage, call me. My number's in the phone book, or locate me on the website, for the city website, and email me. My friends and I'll be happy to pick up your bags and get rid of them for you if you're unable to do so yourself. So I will move that we accept the dates for the fall leaf collection.
For a second? I'll second that. Any discussion? I commend the Public Works Committee for getting that thing going, and especially I like the price,
Yeah.
or the cost, I should say.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Let's go to public safety, number 3.
Well, at our last public safety meeting, of course, we all know this, our EMS department's bursting at the seams, our fire department's bursting at the seams, our police department is bursting at the seams, and we need to find out, or pick up the ball, we feel at this time, and develop a plan to either establish a task force, maybe it's the public safety committee, I'm not sure, but to begin discussions on finalizing a new public safety building, or a combination EMS, police, fire department building, whatever you want to call it. and figure out a time frame, start figuring out costs, and pinpointing location, and where to go with this, and develop an overall plan.
You want me to put together a blue ribbon committee, or what?
Well, if that's what you'd like to do, yeah.
Well, no.
We definitely need
I'd
to.
like to move, excuse me, I'd like to move that we do exactly that, that we authorize the mayor to put together a committee to perform this task.
Okay. I will do that.
Okay.
I think it's timely. I think there's big considerations, and we have to move fast, because if we select one or the other, meaning the county property, we have to consider the market price of that particular property, and I've also worked with Buck Malik in indicating to him that we will soon have a recommendation whether or not we want property there, because the school and library are also looking for property there as well. We have to take into consideration that the city owns about 7.5 acres close to the business park that should be under consideration as well. I know the chief doesn't like that, but if it's free, and it's a lot less than the property that we're talking about at market price out there, that's another consideration we should take into our full plan, so.
Well,
We'll
yeah.
put together something right away.
Yeah, I think it's the right thing to do. Now's the time. It's probably, too late to budget for anything for next year, and it's obviously gonna be a couple years down the
I
road
did
anyway.
get some preliminary estimates on what this will cost.
Yeah.
It's about, I think they appropriated something like,
In the fire department, I believe it was 3 million, well, depending on land, 3 to 4 million,
Yeah.
and the police was 7 million. So it'll be some combination
well, that's why I
thereof.
said, better look at that land situation.
It's definitely time to move this forward instead of just having
Okay,
everybody talk about it.
I'll put
so.
the appropriate people together to take a look at that. Need a vote. Okay?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Park Board, you're on, Paul.
Is Jim gonna?
Somebody's on.
Isn't Jim wanna-
Lakefront Park proposed stairway project near the bathhouse.
I don't wanna steal Jim's thunder.
Well, no, and he's got thunder. He said, "I will speak and you will listen."
We've had chronic erosion issues at the bathhouse on the riverside from where the walkway is between the two sides going down to the trail. One of the things we've looked at is trying to establish turf with not being able to contain pedestrian traffic. Anything that we stick down just erodes away. After trying to come up with the best solution, we looked at putting some concrete stairs in. We'd gotten a bid from Bailey Concrete, who's doing the work for us, curb and gutter work, sidewalk replacement, whatever. And that would be approximately $7,500. And that would be for colored concrete, kind of a limestone, similar to what the retaining wall is. It's down along First. And then they'll stamp that to give it a texture, sandstone appearing rock type texture. The advantage is with having it, the concrete colored is in the event, a corner chips off, whatever, it's that color all the way through as opposed to surface treatment. And that also includes railings.
The money in the budget,
Yes.
that's what I like to hear.
Move to approve.
What's your pleasure?
I'll
Okay.
second that motion.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Unfinished business, update on projects.
I just want to highlight two of the public projects, the Hanley Road Storm Sewer projects continuing on. It's been underway for about a week now, and it probably has a few weeks left, but that's moving along with no problems. The Riverwalk project, I wanted to highlight that one specifically. We were hoping to have the park shelter. It was promised that the park shelter bids would be discussed at this meeting. However, we did delay that. There was some comments or some issues about safety at the,
Security.
security at the the shelter, so we wanted to address some of those issues. We also have not heard yet from DNR or the Ron Kynes office regarding funding.
Right.
That's supposed to be sometime first part of October, and they specifically said that you need to wait to start your project until you've heard about the funding, basically, else they will not reimburse you for
That's
previous
right.
expenditures. So that's another thing that once the bids do come in, I'll probably warn you once again, if we have not heard from them, that we delay the project until that funding is for certain.
Right,
So,
good.
any other questions on the updates? Or did you want to ask any?
Well, I have a question on that, the next one, the walkway on Hanley Road, because, man, those
Yep.
prices are unbelievable.
At the last council meeting, it was suggested that we possibly check with the contractors doing the Hanley Road storm sewer to see what the possibility is of extending the 8-foot bituminous pathway along Hanley Road is. Right now, it ends right behind Menards, on the south side of Menards. The pathway ends, and with the storm sewer project, we possibly could extend it. I looked at the option of extending it just the distance of the storm sewer project or extending it to the next intersecting roadway, which is Namacoggin. We received the price for each option. The first option was $10,400 roughly for extending it 250 feet, or to the intersecting roadway, it was $25,000 roughly. So I also included option 3 as, you do not have to extend it at this time. It was just a convenience possibility, looking at if we get good bid prices because they're out there. But it is a different type of machine, so you are getting much higher bid prices than you probably would normally
Why is it a
see.
different kind of machine?
Because an 8-foot pathway paver, you don't have their full paver. So when they do the when they do the patch on Hanley, they'll use a full-size paver versus your pathway paver.
But
So
the pathway is 4 feet, right?
The pathway's 8 feet wide. And so they would have to dig that in, put the gravel base,
Is the curb
8
feet down?
put the asphalt down, and then do pedestrian ramps at the intersecting driveways, and if you went to Namacoggin at the
You
intersecting
recommend
roadways.
we
It is,
have an outside contractors bid on that?
I think we should.
Yeah, geez, that's high.
it's quite high, or you could do it at a different time in conjunction with some other pathway projects.
As a single item.
Yes.
Jim?
Well, one of the things that, I guess we should bear in mind was when this price was given, the bituminous prices were substantially higher.
Yeah,
I mean, all you need to do is go see the gas pump price and drop dramatically. So it is entirely possible we may see a substantial drop.
I think
in the
we
cost just because bituminous prices have.
ought to rebid just like we did our gasoline.
I think we
Right,
should.
and this would have been just an add-on to an
Yeah,
existing project, so it's
understand.
not,
And it's probably a problem for those people, to
yeah,
add it
they will,
on
yep.
that late. Okay,
I'd like to see us rebid that up to Namacoggin.
is that a motion?
Motion.
I'll second that.
But do you want the 2 bids so that?
Yeah, we could, but you know what, if we're gonna bid it, let's bid it up to Namacoggin, so it doesn't, right now, it's ending in the middle of a block. When you're walking on that path, all of a sudden, you gotta,
Oh, yeah.
you're on somebody's grass, right?
Well-
Because there is no intersection, it ends.
It's analogous to building a bridge halfway across the river.
Yeah.
I think we have to reach someplace with it.
The other thing is, do we need an 8-foot wide trail versus a 4-foot?
That calls
Your
for two-way
exist-
traffic there, doesn't it?
Right, and you have an existing 8-foot trail right now up
Oh,
to
up
that
to that.
point. So
At
it
least to
seems to make
Namacoggin, and then maybe if we extend it any farther, we can look at it the other way, so.
8 foot is the standard wide path in the city, so.
Okay. This doesn't seem like it's that wide, but I guess.
I didn't think it was either. Okay, will you handle that for us?
Yep, we can
I made a motion.
get that out for
Is there
bids.
a second? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Let's go to the back. Request for annual high school homecoming parade in the afternoon of Friday, October 6th, beginning at 911 4th Street, Myrtle to 2nd, and south on 2nd Street to Cooley Road. Everything in order for that, Sergeant Marty?
Yes, it is. We've gotten the permit from the state to detour 2nd Street down, just like we do for the Booster Day Parade, down to First Street, up St. Croix Street instead of down to River. We're going to be using volunteers for the non-critical intersections, so we won't be using many police officers at all. North Hudson has volunteered to send us an officer. I'm going to talk to the county and the state, see if they can get us a couple more officers to help us control traffic. Parade lasts maybe half hour, 45
Half an
minutes
hour,
at the longest. And it comes out of the library down to Myrtle to 2nd and then disperses up Cooley Road, so it's
Always
really
been a
not-
good,
It's really been very popular. Last 5 years, it's
Coming
been really
event.
good.
For approval.
okay, is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion's carried. Before we go into closed session, the next item is the communication and recommendation of the mayor. We've got problems in our parks, and I've been looking at some ordinances where some other cities take the pavilions in their areas and leave the trails open, but they close them at sundown. And most of the activity problems that we have occur after that. Our parks are open until approximately 11 o'clock, and there's been a lot of problems in our parks. They moved from down at the bathhouse up to Prospect Park. They're burning fires there. They burn the fire until 11 o'clock. They take the charcoal right all over the walls. They're breaking trees that are gathered from the woods there, breaking them into pieces that they can accommodate for burning. And so I talked to Jim this morning, and I said, let's put up a sign that says no burning except by permit, which means they'd have to come down and file, then we know who's burning, what people are there, and if there's any problems, then we've got a list. If we have the sundown situation, and quite frankly, I think our ordinance says whatever the signing says is part of the ordinance, so if we change it from 11 o'clock to sundown. I did bounce this off some families, and one of the families that had called me said that she took her sixth graders up to Prospect. And she said, I just want you to see where, when you were kids, you rode the little dinosaurs and all this. Well, there was a bunch of guys in there that really intimidated these young fellas, and the kids said, Mom, let's get out of here. You know, we feel uncomfortable. And so she called me, and I've been up there just about every day, and it's the same people, the same 18, 19-year-olds. They don't go to school, they don't have a job, they accumulate there. I'm not saying that all of this is coming from there, but they've been, there's been some incidents and some projects that they've come up with that I'll tell you, not over TV. And I'm not going to leave 16 to 20 people rule our parks if I have to close it at sundown. And I'm kind of spreading that to the council to see if that's okay if we move in that direction for at least the rest of the year to see how it works. And I think Devin had an incident with one of his children just yesterday where they were up there with some high school kids wanted to just use the park, and this group came on and said, hey, this is our park, get out of here. I don't like that sort of thing, and we've just got to do something about that. And I thought we'd try it if the council's okay to proceed in that direction.
Catherine, can we make a formal motion, or?
Check the, make sure in the code that you can do it without an ordinance change.
Oh,
And
definitely.
if we need an ordinance change, that's not a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
We just need to do it properly, so
But
it's
we-
enforceable when someone writes a ticket.
We have to do
That's-
something drastic.
Yeah.
People are afraid to use that, and I don't want that.
So
So,
Catherine, you'll get
okay?
back to us on that?
Jim?
Yeah, I'll talk with Jim
Somebody
about,
asked if you decide or figure out that yes, we can just do it, let me know immediately.
So we can do it.
yeah, I'll check and work with Jim on what the procedure needs to be, and if we need to come back to council, we will, but if we don't, we'll proceed.
and just say
If we don't
Let's
do
have a
it.
motion to pursue that
Yeah.
particular approach that
And
I just
whatever,
explained.
you know,
Well,
lawful.
You move and I'll second.
I'll move that we
Oh.
continue on looking at the ordinance, and if we don't need one, we
And
can
let's
change
just
the
try that till the end of the year, and we'll see if it's something we leave there permanent. But if you do sundown, then that doesn't mean you have to change that time every season, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Discussion?
I think it's a good idea, but can we make a motion in this part of the agenda
Well, that's why I asked Catherine.
at all? I mean, we're in communications for future
Oh, I see.
agendas.
Well, yeah, if it needs an ordinance change and has it, I guess I should think.
But we're not changing the ordinance tonight. We're asking you to look at it.
No, oh, certainly, you can
That's what
direct
we're
me to do
doing.
that, yeah. But the motion
I
was
don't know if we need
further
a
to take
motion.
action if,
Well, if there is no ordinance
and
change
it's not on
needed.
the, she's
Not on the
talking about it's
agenda.
not on
There's
the
no
I'm
agenda.
just
ordinance
concerned
change,
that
that we can do that.
No, but it's not on the agenda.
I understand that, but it's a recommendation and comment from the mayor.
Well, I think the mayor has a point here, Catherine. Tell me if I'm wrong in some aspect. If we don't need to change the ordinance,
We'll
we can
change
just
the
go ahead and
signage.
do it. So the vote is not affecting the change for the city in any way. And if we do need an ordinance, we're requesting that through this action
Well,
now.
isn't the change, changing the hours or posting signs or doing?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that's all.
We're saying no burning, which is,
If it's
I
already
don't-
an existing ordinance, we're not making any
Oh,
change
if it
here at
is
all.
an existing
I mean,
ordinance,
if
yeah.
the ordinance allows
Right.
the administration of the city to change the hours of park
Well, let's
usage.
do it this
I
way.
think it should be on the burning, if the ordinance says no burning, then you're fine, because we don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
And posting it just makes sense, but on the changing hours, or if I need to do a permit, it's
There's
not
nothing-
on the agenda.
No burning is already posted at Lakefront Park.
And there's nothing
talking
in the
about in the-
ordinance, I
in the
already
process.
read it, but
So,
take a
so
look at it.
I will rescind my motion since I can't make one at this time.
And I'll rescind the second.
Well, and direct me to check the ordinances and see what needs to be done. That's really, and it probably should go to Park Board. Has it been to Park Board?
Gee, how long are we gonna delay this action?
I can't help that.
You know? It's gonna be, snow's gonna be flying by the time we get this thing done.
It's an idea. I will discuss it with council and proceed according to her ruling.
Please do.
like the idea.
Yeah.
Good.
Park Board will meet before our next.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, it can be done in one
I
meeting.
don't want to, yeah, I don't want to
So-
forever. Let's go down to communications and items for future agendas without discussion.
I'd like to point out that in fact, the Park Board will not meet before the next full council meeting, that the full council meeting will meet on the Monday and the Park Board will meet on the following Wednesday.
Oh.
So let's move this thing along. I'm just pointing again, let's push this thing along.
This is important.
We will meet on
I'd
the
even have a special council meeting because I'm not going to stand for.
Let's get it done, you know?
Right, okay. Anyone else?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to coordinate a groundbreaking ceremony for the dike shelter between Rotary clubs, city officials, newspaper, et cetera. I'd like to do that after one of the Wednesday morning meetings, and I was wondering if there's a preference between October 4th or October 11th
For the one out the,
for the shelter.
11th.
We have a meeting on the 4th.
No, he said after that meeting.
Oh, after the meeting?
Right.
Why don't we do it early in the morning on the 11th? Then-
11th at 8:30.
Yeah.
That way you get probably a fair number of members from the Rotary Club to go down there after their meeting. It'd be nice to have as many city officials there as we can, as well as Randy or any other
sure.
newspaper
Would you like
representative.
me to have Jan?
Yeah,
Don't discuss it too much now.
Sorry.
well, it's a communication item, so.
I'm kidding.
So, okay, well, we'll shoot for the 11th, and I'll just coordinate with Devin and Jan via email and send.
Randy, you must have something.
I have nothing today,
I
Your
do.
Honor.
I have a request. I kind of was talking to Paul about this, as the chairman of the Public Safety Committee. We had a fire up in Red Cedar Canyon last week, and I had 3 residents contact me about the time it took our fire department to get there, and I was just wondering if safety could look at it and see if there was some unexplainable.
I suggest you sit down with the chief right after this meeting, because I think he has some information that will blow you right out of your chair.
Well, that's what I need.
Yeah,
It was
just meet with
my-
him after, because I did the same thing about 3 days ago.
Okay.
Got some facts and figures, and,
Well, and then I can tell these people what.
Sure.
I mean,
yeah. Communication is the best. Anyone else? Dennis?
Yes, I received a letter today from a developer who's proposing to possibly do some enhancements at the River City Center. And part of that consideration is asking the city if they would consider selling or disposing part of the property on the west side of the River City Center for development. So that needs to be sent to Finance Committee, probably also Plan Commission. I wouldn't put it on this week's agenda, but once the staff has an opportunity to take a look at it, get the issues and so forth. So I'm just asking if I've got copies of the letter, I'd be happy to provide to the council, but so we can, if we want to discuss that issue, if we don't want to discuss it, then it's a mute issue, but there is a request that's been put in.
If it's okay with Catherine, just one quick question. Is this approximately the same slice of land that we talked about with John Erickson about a year ago?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine, thanks.
What is it?
It's a very small slice of land at the corner.
Oh,
Well, this would be the west side where the loading docks and so forth are.
Yep.
Yeah, we certainly want to talk about that.
I'll leave these for
Okay.
distribution, but just wanted to make sure it could get on agendas in the future. Thank you.
Is this the one the developer didn't want us to talk about?
Yes, it is.
It's
It's all out in the public. Apparently, there was a meeting down in
I'm getting
Marina.
calls asking for
Absolutely.
information on
The
it.
Marina must have had
can-
something
I
that
can enlighten that, sir.
was sponsored this weekend that somebody said they were busing people over from the
No.
Twin Cities.
No.
There's rumors flying all over the place this
If I
afternoon.
may,
Control
as
this,
as a point of information only,
On
without
the
discussion.
agenda. It's
This is a point of information only without discussion. I was at that meeting as one of the owners of the marina. The meeting was held at the marina for two reasons. To let everyone there know about the plans for River City Center, which is right across the street virtually from the marina. And also, I'm sure they felt that people who are in the marina are prime prospects for purchasing condos, because this will be partially a condo complex. The side facing the river will be a condo complex, the side facing the street will be retail stores, and there is a planned Radisson development there. Nobody was bussed over from the Twin Cities. There was a comment made, and I'm sure it was just simply remembering something incorrectly, made by the architect, that there was a meeting with city officials, and that city officials had asked that they not talk about it outside that meeting. I took umbrage at that comment because I know...
No, they asked us not to talk
I know,
about
that's
it.
exactly what I'm saying. He just remembered it incorrectly, and he announced to the room at large that city officials had asked that this not be discussed at this time publicly, and I advised them that that could not possibly be true. And they do correctly remember now that they were the people who asked
That's right.
us to keep it quiet
Yep.
while they got their act together.
Which we honored.
Yes, and if I may say so, the act is not completely together yet, so give them time, they're coming to Plan Commission, let them
very good.
say what they want to say then.
The reason we keep it quiet is because sometimes the developer's doing due diligence and they just ask us for confidentiality while they do that.
Well, yeah, if they're negotiating to buy land, it's perfectly legal, you know.
Thank
That's
you.
what they're doing.
It's about the third project for that site, so they all fell through. Anyone else? City attorney,
nothing. No
nothing
discussion.
other than what you already gave us, huh?
Yep.
City
No discussion
administrator.
about nothing.
A couple things, we did get our preliminary final number on the budget. We have $156,000 increase to work with on the tax levy. So that's the number we have as of right now. If something changes, Betty and I'll let you know. With the budgets, we're due in Friday. We've got most of them in. We'll get them entered and then we'll start working on it and see where we're at.
So maybe we should take that bus ride to Madison.
The other item is, as an aside, it was approved earlier with the pig roast at the hockey arena. They are inviting the public to come and see their new facility. There will be open skate that evening, I believe from 4 to 8 in the new rink, and they'll have open hockey in the old rink. So the public is invited to come and see where the arena is at this point. It's not done yet, but
You're gonna have that in the paper with,
I'm sure
invite?
the committee has taken care of that, but I just wanted to mention that the public is certainly invited to come and see the new facility, so.
I don't know if you've toured that facility, but it is extremely great. It's unbelievable. Okay, we're going to go into closed session pursuant to 19851C Wisconsin Stats to discuss possible reclassification of a clerical employee.
Motion that we, well, so moved, I'll second, closed session. Roll call vote?
I'll second that.
Well, no, you
Roll call.
move it, I'll second.
Whatever.
I'm gonna second, he's gonna move.
Okay.
Got it. O'Connell? Where'd he go?
Closed session, you want to go? Yes. Okay.
O'Malley?
Yes.
Borsett?
Yes.
Wyland?
Yes.
Rademacher?
Yes.
Cook? Yes.
We'll just take a couple minutes while Dennis has a chance to talk to the chief.